A wise woman once packed all her stuff and said, "This fucked up shit will not be my story." Then she left, and she lived happily ever after.
Hello everybody. So I was sitting here today talking to Peter. Actually, I was smoking a cigarette with Peter from the Bible, because he's the only person in the Bible that I think would sit with me while I'm smoking a cigarette and talk and listen to me. Well, Saul probably would have. Yeah, Saul probably would have had a cigarette. And Joseph, because his wife got pregnant, so we know that story. Anyway, let me fix this camera. I was sitting here smoking a cigarette, and I was asking Peter. I said, "Peter, how did you feel when you cut this dude's ear off for the safety of Jesus?" And he said he felt like it was necessary at the time because that person was the enemy. He was out to hurt Jesus. This is my version of the story. I said, "And how did you feel when Jesus fixed his ear?" He said, "I was confused because I only cut his ear off because I thought it was necessary. And then Jesus fixed it, and I felt like he scolded me for doing what I thought was right at the time." And I kind of feel the same way sometimes about this green lady that everybody's talking about. This green lady, Kiki, loves Nigeria. That is just, she spends her days and nights and weekends and weekdays degrading black women and now black men. But her main focus is black women who live on the continent of Africa. And I said, okay, so I'm here to cut her head off, basically. And then you have people saying, "Oh, let it go, leave it alone, it was old." No, it wasn't old. She's still doing it to this day. She's still even mentioning my name to this day. And so I'm going to continue to say what I say and do what I do and hope that her channel gets shut down, because she doesn't deserve to be on any type of social media platform. She does not deserve to be a teacher, a teacher's aide, a teacher's assistant. She does not deserve to be working around any type of human beings, because she is a mean, nasty person, and she does mean, nasty things to people. And that's on social media. So, for all of you who are curious as to my why, this is my why. Now, hopefully, I do have one other video coming up, and I hope that's the last video about her, but we don't know. But I'm hoping that's the last video about her that I have to make, because I have other things to do. I have bigger and better things to do, and more like beautiful people to talk about and wonderful things to talk about, like my own damn life. Okay, me. So anyway, I love y'all. If you can share all of the videos about her, I would appreciate that. And if you can go report her videos, I would appreciate that as well. If you have never been to her page, it is Kiki Loves Nigeria. Do not subscribe to her. But if you are curious as to the mean, nasty shit she's done to black women, go on over there and see her. Thank you. So because I am my sister's keepers, I'm going to continue. So Kiki, bitch, let my people go. Hello again. So let's talk about, okay, there's something we don't talk about. We talk about mothers who lost their children, people whose grandparents passed away, aunties are gone, they lost their brothers and their sisters and things like that. But let's talk about those people who never had a child. They never gave birth. They have no idea what it's like to be pregnant. They have no idea what it's like to be in labor, or to see their child for the first time, or feel a baby kicking in their stomach. They don't know. Well, those mothers have a different type of Mother's Day. They have a Mother's Day too, but it's a different type of Mother's Day. It's one of those, and I'm just assuming from talking to other people, because I am a mother. But those are the people that sit around and wonder what it would be like to celebrate Mother's Day. Or they have other people who celebrate Mother's Day with them because they feel sorry for them because they don't have a child. And they're like, oh, let's go to Miss Barbara's house and give her a Mother's Day gift because she's kind of like a mother to us. That's different. Those people are blessings, but that's different. My issue was I never had a big brother and I never had a sister. And then you have those people who are the only children. They're the only child. They don't know what it's like to have a brother. They don't know what it's like to have a sister. Can you imagine? Because I knew what it felt like to not have a sister. Growing up around people who had many sisters. I lived next door. I lived 2 doors from this family called the Wilsons, and they had a lot of sisters. And I had no idea what that felt like. I had no idea what it felt like to share clothes or learn how to do makeup with my sister or watch her do her hair, which is why I lived on the dorm for the first time. I could have stayed at home and went to school. I chose to live on the dorm because I wanted to know what it was like to be around girls and have a sisterhood and share clothes. I didn't know what it was like to share clothes with people. I didn't know how to put on makeup. I didn't know any of that stuff. And then you got those people who don't have an auntie or uncle. They don't have an auntie or uncle because their parents were the only child. Their mother and father was the only child. So we have people out here with different type of situations. My heart hurts for them when they talk about it because you can hear the pain in their voices. You can kind of hear the hurt or the sadness in their voices, or through their text messages, or however they say it. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this real quick. I'm just here and I don't have anything to do. The cat just died, and that was kind of a strange thing to watch. He just came in and started convulsing. Well, first he was dragging across the floor like he couldn't walk, and I was looking like I was watching him, and it looked like he was trying to go in the bathroom, and he usually will go in the bathroom to he just likes to lick a little water off the shower floor. I don't know why. And then he started to come towards me, and I said, oh my God, what's wrong with you? So I went over to pick him up, and he was slimy wet. There was stuff coming out of his mouth, and Latif was just coming back from the store, and I said, Latif, something's wrong with the cat. So I thought maybe he couldn't walk because the floor is slippery, which he been walking on this floor all the time I've been living here. He made himself my cat. I didn't find him. He just came here. And we took him outside, and he couldn't walk outside either. And then he started convulsing, just flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping, and stuff was dripping out of his mouth. And so I told Latif, go and get Blacko, go and get somebody, something's wrong, he's dying. And he flipped over like this. And I said, oh my God, he's dead. And then he started moving again. So Blacko came, and Blacko looked and said either he ate something he wasn't supposed to eat, or maybe a snake bit him. Some snakes don't attack cat. They don't kill cats to eat them. They will just bite them. But something was wrong, as if he was poisoned. And I was like, cats don't eat things. Normally cats don't eat things. It's not easy to me to poison a cat or a dog unless they're starving. And these ones over here are not. No, regardless of what people think. Cats and dogs smell everything. They have senses that we don't really have. And so I said, nah, nobody poisoned him. I don't think nobody poisoned him. So, anyway, they warmed up some palm oil. Blacko yelled for his sister to get some palm oil. And they poured palm oil in his mouth, and he started to spit up some stuff. But everything he was spitting up was slimy. And then Blacko told Latif to come inside and warm it. And so Latif warmed it just a little bit, and Blacko poured it in his mouth. And he just laid down. Just laid down right outside. And Blacko covered him with Blacko wrapped him up in a shirt and just let him lay there and just go. And I came in the house. I was very, very hysterical, very upset. I came inside, and then the dog came and sniffed him and just sniffed him and sniffed him. I could see out my door that the dog was sniffing the cat because they were friends. And then Blacko came and took him up front. I don't know what, gonna bury him or what, but he has a little kitten. And I asked Blacko, I said, do we need to buy the kitten milk? And he said no, because he eats. He's old enough to eat, which the little kitten does eat. He eats stuff. I feed him, he eats. But he still sucks his mother's breast milk. And I said, okay, well, maybe he just sucks for comfort, because he does actually eat. But that doesn't mean he doesn't still need milk. I don't know. But I saw the cat sitting about, I don't know, 10 feet from his mother, just looking at her. And that was when I just left. That was later on. I went back outside to go up front, and I saw Blacko had laid the cat up front. And the baby was just sitting there looking at his mom. So anyway, then I looked up the spiritual meaning of all of this. The spiritual meaning of if your cat dies, if you watch your cat die. I looked up the spiritual meaning of what happens if a cat is sick or get injured somewhere else but makes it home. Because I wanted to know, I know there's a meaning to this. To me, there's a meaning to everything.